And that brings me quite nicely onto the HR aspect of our last resort support this afternoon. And Teams is all about how can you use a digital platform to interact well with your staff, and how do you keep them engaged? What do you need to do to make sure that you're looking after them in the best possible way? And we're hearing a lot now about returning to work and some of the challenges and issues and opportunities that brings. So I'm going to hand over now to Phil, who's going to talk a little bit about what's going on in that world.
Blimey, am I unmuted yet? Yes, I think I am. Thank you. Professional to the end. Hello, this is Phil Watson from HR Limited, the HR doctor, hence the silly outfit. So there's been an awful lot going on, not only in Teams, obviously, but in the HR world, in the managing people world over the last 3 months, really. Just to very quickly recap what's been going on with the CJRS support that the government's given to employers. We all know by now that Rishi, good old Uncle Rishi, has extended the 80% furlough scheme until the end of July, and that's an excellent support for all employers. Although it does clearly telegraph the expectation that actually for the bulk of businesses, certainly in particular sectors, nothing's going to happen till the end of July at best. So just be aware of that. From August to October, there will be CJRS support. However, that will, during those months, it will be shared. The cost of that will be shared with the employer. So once again, it's a great opportunity to manage a gradual phased return, because part-time return will be allowed during that period of time without losing the opportunity to keep your people on furlough and get some financial support from the government. Once again, takes some jobs from redundancy. So how do you? I spent the last month advising my my clients, how they should safely bring their employees back to work. And the key word is safe. Obviously, you not only have due diligence on you as an employer to ensure that your employees are safe, carrying out your duties, but you've got a human. There's a human aspect to that also. The human aspect is very important. It's about communication. It's about making sure that people understand your philosophy. It's about making sure that your employees are engaged with your philosophy and they're comfortable with coming back to the workplace, if that's what they want to do. But financial and punitive side of that is, if you don't get it right, if you don't follow the government guidelines, you will be taken to the cleaners at one time or another. And quite frankly, if you don't do an appropriate risk assessment, if you don't manage the risks, you'll probably deserve that as an employer. I hate to say that because it's going to be difficult, but that may well be the case. So there's a 10-step return to work plan, and I made myself some notes, and I don't want this to be noisome, so somebody will have to put their hand up on Teams for me to tell me when to cut, because I could rabbit on like this for a long time. But step one, so 10 steps. Step one, learn from others. There are a lot of sectors going back to work now. There's an awful lot of information that you can glean from your compatriots in your sectors. Do that. The networking hasn't been particularly good. Get it, sharpen this up now. If you have forums in which you can discuss with similar businesses, then start doing that, because that is gold dust in terms of information. The government's given us guidance about transport, travel to work. If there's no alternative but to use public transport, ask other people in your sector what they're doing. Are they continuing to ask people to work from home, wherever that's possible? What kind of workarounds have they got, given a health and safety perspective? Point number 2, carry out a risk assessment. Do not skimp on carrying out a thorough risk assessment. It's a requirement on your part. All employers, irrespective of size, must carry out a risk assessment in this area. Step 3, update your health and safety policy. Oh, I haven't got a health and safety policy, Gov. I never knew I needed one. You need one now. You seriously do. Do give me a shout. I've got very highly qualified people on the HR team who can help you with the health and safety policy. Not necessarily expensive. It is expensive if you don't do it. Step 4, study the current government guidance. And the key word there is the current government guidance. If you try and go back and look at government guidance from 2 weeks ago, I did, just as a point, a memo to myself, it changes in real time. Unless you have taken a PDF at the time of the government advice, as the government updates its advice, its bulletins change with that in real time. So you will not be able to prove that the government advice that you took was the advice at the time, because a month later it will have changed. It will have gradually changed. How are you going to prove that? Someone makes an accusation. So keep records is the other key point. Point number 5, I guess. What are you going to do when tracing and testing becomes a real probability and possibility for you? How are you going to enable yourself to do that with your teams? Because it's a racing certainty that nobody really wants their movements tracked by Big Brother. On the other hand, they probably want to keep alive. They probably want to keep their nearest and dearest alive. So it's going to be a necessity. We're going to have to go a little bit Chinese on everyone, but you can't force them to share that data with you. So what protocols are you going to put in place? What agreements are you going to put in place to enable you to use contact tracing? Point number 6, that was a cough. Was somebody putting their hand up there, Tracy? No?
That was me, don't worry.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. At least you haven't fallen asleep. Point number 6, do keep up to date. It changes every day. If you've got bigger fish to fry, more things on your plate, then ask someone whose job it is to keep up to date. Well, that'd be me then. So that's Phil at HR Unlimited. I'm sure you have those contact details. Consult with your staff. So before you do anything, consult with your staff. You can't just issue an edict. By the way, guys, business is up and running now. I need you back at work pronto. Well, actually, you can, because it's your train set. You can do what you like. But I would strongly advise that you do not do that. You talk to each and every one of those individuals. Perhaps you could issue a questionnaire and see what their perspective is. They may be shielding people at home. They may not share that with you. They may not be comfortable sharing the fact that they are shielding people at home who have a high level of vulnerability. They're not going to want to come back to work and potentially bring COVID-19 back into the household, are they? So you do need to find out about your people, consult with them, where their boundaries lie within practical limits of your business. Penultimate stage really is train your managers and staff. So you know exactly, everyone knows exactly what part they're going to play in keeping the workplace safe, and keeping themselves safe, but also the business to survive. So we're talking cleaning regimes, we're talking about social distancing, we're talking about possibly segregating the toilets, so you could have an appropriate track and trace system, for those kind of conveniences. We're talking about everything that you've read about, whatever newspaper you read. We're talking about all those things. Someone needs to be in charge of that. You can't abdicate it. So, who's that going to be? And what's your guidance for them? So go off and do that for you. And finally, let's not forget that there are ways around getting people back to work. If you're finding social distancing impossible in a relatively small office confined workplace, you can stagger work times potentially. You can encourage employees to work from home, perhaps on a part-time basis. But then how are you going to manage that? How are you going to make sure that productivity doesn't drop? I think that you will find that there'll be some considerable days, possibly even weeks, when people are allowed back into the workplace. They'll spend an awful lot of time just catching up with the guys. And why not? Why would you not? The workplace is a social arena. So you need to keep people focused on what the job at hand is, whilst also welcoming them back and reassuring them. You might even want to, but please take advice from us on this, you might even want to consider bringing younger people back to work. They've got the skills, and as long as we manage the risk of age discrimination, at the moment, the government feels that younger people are likely to be less vulnerable in the workplace. That being the case, might it make sense where you've got 2 employees who could pretty much do the same thing, to bring the younger one first? Remember, you can still leave someone else at home on furlough, unless, of course, the wife is driving them absolutely nuts, in which case they might be clawing at your door to come back into the workplace. And so it goes. We really didn't have time in this forum, and it's not about HR into this forum. It's about a wide spectrum of approaches to get your business back on its feet, using IT, using marketing, using appropriate software, using your management house. I'm a tiny part of that, but like all jigsaws, it's not finished till you've got all the parts and put them in the right place.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Not very good at segueing out there. Sorry, a bit sudden. I should have given you a 5, 4. Oh no. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, lift off.